with a chance to take the lead. Kaepernick, end zone, Crabtree, broken up, picked off. This game is over.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to 12 minutes of your time. I am Michael Bailey. This is Ryan Bailey. We're back for another year, the 2023 year. Seahawks are definitely looking forward to build off last year. It should be very exciting. It's Pete Carroll and John Snyder's 14th season with us. Gino's second year as a starter, but his third year with Shane Waldron, which is nice. And then on the defensive side, Clint Hurtt's third year as a coordinator as well. He's definitely looking to step it up and solidify his role as the defensive coordinator. It's a very exciting year. And as usual, this is 12 minutes. So I'm going to start the timer now. And we'll get going to week one. Rams at Seattle. Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Okay. We're going to start with the rookies on offense, Ryan. Specifically Jackson Smith Njibe, excuse me about the pronunciation, and Zach Charbonnet, but also Jake Bobo was very interesting as well. Well, Ryan, do you think Jackson or JSN, as people call him, will have a huge impact in week one? And also elaborate on Charbonnet as well.
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, from what I think is going to happen, week one, we should see a heavy dose of Kenneth Walker with DJ Dallas spilling in there, right? I don't know if Charbonnet will get a whole bunch of playing time just because I could see us wanting to, hit everyone with, Kenneth Walker and then throw in a nice heavy dose of a senior veteran and running back, and then, sprinkle in Charbonnet from time to time. But yeah, I think we're going to see a heavy dose of Kenneth Walker and really get to see that he's explosive again and that he's an amazing player.
I hope we do see a lot of him. Also, I know he had some injuries last year, so they might keep him on a little bit of a play, check or what do you want, a limitation. But yeah, I agree. DJ Dallas as well, and also something we saw last year was DJ Dallas in the not under center, but in the shotgun as a direct run.
Yeah, we did see that from time to time. I mean, it would be cool to see. I mean, I love having a back that goes three downs, right? Just watching back in the day, watching the Adrian Petersons, watching the Marshawn Lynch's, right? Growing up with those guys. And then, not seeing it so much in today's NFL, but I'd still love to see it. And I would love to see Kenneth Walker out there for three downs because he's just so explosive. And the more times he's out there, the more times he can break one off, right? Because he's going to break one off. There's no way this Rams defense is going to stop Kenneth Walker from breaking one off and getting a 40-yard run. I know for a fact that Kenneth Walker is going to be able to do some impact.
I agree. And especially as the game goes on, hopefully we can wear their defensive down. And that's a good point about Walker. Has he developed more in his pass blocking and his pass catching to be that third down back that can get 25 to 30 carries? And can he take that workload on? It's his second season. How much, did he do with his durability in the offseason or just his overall strength to be able to take that pounding? It'd be very curious, but I hope for him to definitely take the next step. That would be great for us to take a little bit of pressure off Gino in the passing game.
Yeah, exactly.
Moving on, let's go to the interior offensive line. But once again, those other rookies we talked about probably limited in snaps.
Yeah, well, JSN, I want to bring up real quick.
Okay.
I think he's going to have an explosive day, right? Someone's got to fill in that Godwin role that, was there, our third wide receiver. And it's crazy to think that JSN is going to be our third wide receiver, who's a first-round draft pick, was like the best wide receiver coming out of Ohio State. And they produce wide receivers. They produce amazing wide receivers. And to think that we've got DK Metcalf, who's a number one, Tyler Lockett, who is a number one, and then now JSN, who's a first-round pick, going to come out there. There's not a lot of whole competition at the wide receiver position, right? Cody Thompson and Bobo, who's also a rookie, right? I think Jackson Smith is going to have a phenomenal game. And if you were going to start him in fantasy, I think you still could. I think you can get three wide receivers out there and go at this Rams team with an explosive offense.
That's a good point, and that is a little risky. And thank you for catching that. I almost skipped over JSN. That's a good point about starting him in fantasy as well, because he could be ridiculously threatening and taking a lot of pressure off Lockett and DK Metcalf, because they are number ones. They might not be A+ like Justin Jefferson or Chase, but they're number ones. A lot of teams would love to have all three of those receivers on their squad, 100%.
Exactly. Yes, 100%. And then maybe we see Bobo in some sort of red zone threat because he's just tall, 6'4", or something like that. But I want to pound that rock. I want to beat this Rams team down, and I want to show them that this offense is more explosive than their offense.
Sorry to interrupt. JSN might thrive in that play action. You get that run game going hard, and that slot guy and the Metcalf and Lockett will just take the safeties out of it, and you just get them going across or something. I'm very excited. I don't remember our last first round receiver pick. It might have been Joey Galloway all the way back in like 96. But I'm not too sure about that one. But yes, I do think he'll be big. You're right. The Ohio State University has produced a lot of receivers lately. A lot of the receivers in general seem to come out much better than they have in the past, where it takes a few years to develop into that.
Yeah.
Okay, now moving on to the interior offensive line, which will hopefully hold up for the run game and the pass game. We have a new center in Evan Brown. Would you like to talk about him?
Yeah, so he's moving over from guard over to center, and he's played some center, but it should be a big upgrade from. I think we had it wasn't Posick last year, but it was
I can't remember
Austin Blythe, and that guy
very low end.
Yeah, he was not very good. He was not a solid play for us. And we need to get more productivity out of that center position, right? And I think Evan Brown still being on the team last year and still being around the Seahawks and now coming over to play full center, I think it's going to be a big upgrade, man. I think it's going to be a solid play for us. I mean, Damian Lewis was phenomenal last year in this at the guard position. Now he's banged up a little bit. He'll probably come in and hopefully still play. I don't think he's going to miss any time. But that's just like a big deal, right? We've got that guard position still locked up, and we got Evan Brown, who's been consistent and played well last year. I think he was still top 35 guard in PFF. So I'm excited to see him be in that center position, be excited to get him to work well with Geno.
Yes, and obviously we're expecting a lot from our two tackles to make huge upgrades. They were great last year, but they were still rookies, and they can always get better. Was Phil Haynes? He's slotted as our starting right guard. Was he more of a backup role last year?
I think he maybe started a couple games, right? Because there was a little bit of injuries on the interior offensive line. So I think he started something like maybe 2 or 3 games last year or something. So I mean, that's a question mark, Phil Haynes, right? I don't know how well he's going to do. I think Evan Brown is going to play really well. I think, Damian Lewis is going to play really well. I think the two tackles are going to play really well. This is kind of where that question mark comes into play. But, hey, if you've got some guys around you that are really good, then it makes you play really good, right? So
100%. And I kind of bring it up as in the sense of they were all on the squad last year. They all played. They're all familiar with each other. They're familiar with Geno. So hopefully Geno trusts them, and hopefully Geno speaks up and leads that as well. Even if he has to take up some slack about calling out pass protection in certain games because that defense is a little more complicated or a little more well coached, we'll see. All right, we're about 8 minutes in, so we're going to jump to the defense. Very quickly, another rookie, Derek Hall, our second round pick out of Auburn. And we have a big signing of Draymond Jones from Denver. Hopefully they can step up right away, even though Hall is a backup.
Yeah, I mean, that's Derek Hall, right, would be really nice to see play well because I feel like we haven't gotten great, D-line help from our draft in a long time. I mean, it would be nice to see him step up and be a great player, right? We really haven't had great D-line drafting in a while. Yeah.
Yes.
And then
Boye Mafe was a second round pick, I believe, out of Purdue. He's good, still not a top 10 pick. And we could have gone that way. But instead we went with Devin Witherspoon in our top 5 pick. But Nwosu was a free agent. Jones is a free agent. Jerron Reed is back, even though he's a nose tackle, it's a free agent. So you're right. In general, our defensive line hasn't been top picks or huge hits in the second, third, fourth, fifth round.
Yeah, we just haven't. I mean, Boye Mafe could be really great. Like he had some, some strides of being a good player. And I think if he can build on that, that'd be great. This is a good opportunity to do that for him. I mean, he's starting, right, which is great. And then, over on the other side, Uchenna Nwosu, he was phenomenal. He was like a Pro Bowler. He had a bunch of sacks. He played really well. I'm glad we extended him right away. Kind of reminds me of, getting in that, Michael Bennett or Cliff Averill, and then having them come in and be dominant on our team. So I'm hoping we can kind of get that back, right?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, they did such a good job of signing those guys, and they were so elite for that amount of time that it's the bar is set high in that sense. So moving on, Jordan Brooks should be back, should be pretty healthy. We need him as the inside linebacker since we have two. Obviously, Bobby's back, which is huge.
Yes.
So if Brooks can stay healthy, this should be a great opportunity for them to shine and hopefully establish a good run defense, a great run defense. We need it.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby being back is going to help our defense, be put in the right position to succeed, right? It's going to relieve a lot of pressure from Jordan Brooks. It's going to relieve a lot of pressure from Boye Mafe. It's going to relieve a lot of pressure from the DBs in the backfield, right? So everyone's going to have a better playing time because Bobby's there. And even Clint Hurt's going to have a better season because Bobby's there, right? It's going to really help everyone else out a lot more.
It's going to be Jordan Brooks, communication and the comfortableness and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to see also Devin Bush out there because he's an athletic freak. He didn't succeed well with the Steelers, but, that's also an excitement as well. And then, on the back end behind those guys, right, you got Julian Love, who's brand new into the system. Now you talk to a Giants player, they love Julian Love, right? And I'm hoping to love Julian Love too. So I want to see him succeed very well, and I think it's going to be a little easier with Bobby there in front of him, telling him where to be or what to do, and having to play off of him. So I'm excited about that DB kind of linebacker transition.
Yes, we got about a minute left. I think that's a great point with Diggs and Bobby. They're going to be able to communicate very well, and that's going to be extremely important for us. Real quick, Witherspoon is questionable, I believe, as well as Damian Lewis, the guard. Hopefully they can play. We want Witherspoon out there, but we also want to make sure he's not going to hurt himself again because it looks like he's tweaked his hamstring twice this preseason.
Yeah, that soft tissue stuff, you don't want to mess too much. And right now, honestly, we don't need Witherspoon if we don't have to because there's no Cooper Kupp, right? We're having a nice week with no Cooper Kupp. So let's go beat that ass. Let's go beat them down. That's, Trey Brown should play just fine. I mean, he doesn't have to overdo anything because, no Cooper Kupp. So that should help him a lot. And then Tariq, who's just a freak, is going to shut down Van Jefferson, whoever is on that other side. We don't care who it is because Tariq's going to dominate.
It is. I would 100% agree that I think we should come out with a mindset that almost like Detroit had on Thursday night, where we're going to come out and be aggressive and we're not going to take shit from nobody because we're bad mothers. All right, that's 12 and a half minutes. We overdid it a little bit, but that's okay. That's because we love the Seahawks. Let's go Hawks. Week 1, and we'll come back with a review after week 1 when we beat the Rams.
That's right, baby. Let's go. Woo!
All right, go Hawks.
Go Hawks.